How's it going, everybody? This is DeanoGTO, and today we're looking at the Lamborghini Diablo, and I'm pretty much using it at the moment to essentially grind part tokens as well as credits. So the reason I'm doing this here is because I am actually looking to, and by the way, just a side note, to anyone who's familiar with this game, you'll know that the hyperspace loop is pretty much like the best way to earn money. That side bet that just popped up on the screen there, fuck that side bet. It's nearly impossible to do, and the circumstances you need to do it are so goddamn rare. It's nearly impossible. In fact, I would probably say it is impossible, like 90% of the time. Like, it's such a rare circumstance where you're actually going to beat that and win the race. It's just such a ball ache. It's just not worth it in the slightest. And the thing is, it won't stop giving it to you unless you complete it. And yeah, it just sucks. Like, it really does. But yeah, like, I can't off topic. So I'm grinding credits, I'm grinding part tokens. The reason I'm doing this here is because I actually would like to start doing like car builds and stuff in this game, because I enjoy playing the game and I like making cars and stuff. Like, as you can see here, I have a Rotherham's livery on Lamborghini Diablo because I think that looks pretty damn awesome. And I've also customized it to have like normal lights rather than typical pop-ups that we normally have. And the reason I did that there is because personally I think the Lambo Diablo suited the normal lights rather than the pop-up lights better than like, I just think that the normal lights look better on this car than the pop-ups. And there are a couple of cars that I think like that on. When it comes to, like, if anybody's familiar with the trophy wagon, the AE86, personally I think the normal looking lights on that car, I think it was like there was the Truno and there was another one, the 11 or something like that. One means thunder and one means lightning, I think, from what I can remember. I think the normal looking lights on that car look far nicer than the pop-up lights. Like, I just don't think the car looks out of proportion or something with the pop-ups. Like, it looks good with the pop-ups up, but as soon as you put the pop-ups down, it looks disgusting. In my opinion, it just doesn't look right. It looks so odd. It just looks so weird. Meanwhile, the normal lights on that car looks just pretty much just fine all the time. Like, there's no real problem with that car whatsoever. And also, like, no one, like, I have not come across a single person who's described that car as the AE86 from, like, where I'm from. Like, it's just not known as that there from here. Like, that car is known as the twin cam Corolla here. That's just what it's called, because the whole selling point of that car pretty much was that it was fun and it had twin cams in its engine. So it was just pretty much just known as the twin cam Corolla. That's just what people called it for short, like, or otherwise known as just the twin cam, because there is only one. Like, if somebody says twin cam, people know you're talking about the A86 essentially, or the I think it's called the Toyota Corolla GT Coupe or something like that. It's got like a really, like, funny name. I actually googled what it was called over here one time. It was called like the GT Coupe or something, the Corolla GT Coupe. It was just such a strange name. But yeah, it's just known as twin cam. That's his nickname here. Like, everybody knows what you're talking about if you say twin cam though. So yeah, there are exceptions, of course, to that rule where I was saying, like, just look better with the normal lights. RX-7. If you take the pop-ups off an RX-7, you need to slap. You really do, like, and honestly, I think the MX-5 is another car that kind of suits the pop-ups rather than the normal lights. I think the car that kind of lost a bit of its style whenever it lost the pop-ups, and there are other examples as well. Like, I'm not sure how you would describe the XJ220's lights. They're sort of pop-ups, but what actually happens with the XJ220 is there's actually like a light cover, and they kind of like fold back in order to, like, display the lights, which are just in like a normal casing. But all it really is just there's a cover in front of the lights, pretty much. I'm gonna put it in the same category. That car there looks absolutely amazing. Like, that car is, like, has some of the most unique lights ever from what I've seen, and it's just, in my opinion, the XJ220 is just an amazing looking car. And then there's cars like the F40. I don't know how this became a discussion on like pop-up lights, but, well, yeah, it's interesting to talk about because it's such a 90s thing, the 80s and 90s thing. Like the Ferrari F40 as an example, like that car there, that car there, if you took the pop-up lights out of that car, it just would not look right. Like, it's pretty much like the definitive picture of that car is pretty much that car with the pop-up lights out, and you can like see it. Like if you Google the Ferrari F40, I think like one of the main things that pop up is like with the pictures with like the lights on and the pop-up headlights out, because it has like two sets of lights. It has like the normal lights where the indicators and stuff are, and it has the pop-up lights above that where things like the main like floodlights or not floodlights, the main full beam lights and stuff would be. So yeah, I've always thought that was like awesome looking on that car in particular. But yeah, this became a discussion on pop-up headlights for some reason. But yeah, I want to try and do like car builds at some point on this game because I just feel like that would be fun to do. Probably my first build would probably wind up being a Ford Mustang because the Mustang in this game we have I think the 2017 variant, and I'm wondering if I will be able to make my own homage to the Mustang GTR. And if you don't know what the Mustang GTR is, it's basically a 2004 Ford Mustang, bright orange. It looks insane. I only remember that car actually being in one game. I think it was like Test Drive or something on my PSP. Like I have not seen that car in a game since. It's bizarre because it's such a cool car. Like I think it was the I think that car was unveiled the year before the 2005 body style came out. So it was like the last year of the previous body style, and that was like the hint of what the next body style was gonna look like, I think, from memory. But that was yet again, like that came out what 14 years ago, nearly 15 years ago. So yeah, I think that car was to celebrate the 40 years of Ford Mustang. So it was a pretty cool car to have as that there. It pretty much, the way I would describe it is pretty much what you would imagine a Ford Mustang like sort of LM car would look like. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. It's sort of like something like a Camaro LM car would kind of be. I'm trying to think like what's the. I think there is a version of the Camaro that was kind of like that as well. I can't think of what it was. The river brain fart here. Like, I think what I'm trying to say here is like it pretty much looks like what you would imagine like if there was like an American touring car league. Like first off, American touring car league would be fucking badass. But it's what you would imagine like in that like time period, like 2005 era. It's what you would imagine a Ford Mustang like touring car would look like. It's really cool looking. It's kind of like a mix between like a DTM car and a Ford Mustang. It's that's probably or not DTM. A V8 supercar from Australia and a Ford Mustang. It's really cool. It has a massive spoiler, cool looking front splitter. It has insane looking rear lights and stuff, and the front of it I also looked really cool as well. Pretty much like a full on sport race car, pretty much. So it's such an awesome looking car in my opinion. It's just like. There's never really been anything like it since, aside from like the closest that I can really think of to it would be the what's it called, the Mercedes, the AMG Mercedes CLK Black Series. That's probably the closest car to it because it like takes like a normal car and makes it just insane. So yeah, because like yeah, I would like to make a 2017 Mustang. Sort of look kind of like that if I can, like with a chassis mounted wing and stuff like that there, and like, just like the paint job and stuff like that there. If I could make a modern Ford Mustang that looks something like that, I would be pretty happy. So probably going to finish this video off with this race, but last thing I'm really going to talk about is this car here in particular. So Lamborghini Diablo is one of my favorite 90s cars ever. And the reason for that is because it's pretty much like the last pure Lamborghini. Now, there was some influence from Audi near the end of its development, but most, like I would say, like probably like 70 or 80% of the development was done purely by Lamborghini before it was like bought over by Audi. So it's the last pretty much pure Lamborghini before it became pretty much stuff like the Murcielago. Now the Murcielago, you can see more Lamborghini in that thing than you can in something like the Aventador, but this thing is like pretty much like the last hurrah for like the classic Lamborghini in my opinion. With the rear wheel drive, the insane noise, like scary, could snap and kill you at some point sort of car, which is what you would hear if you were listening to Top Gear. And I don't know why that happens. There must be a glitch in the ground there, because I've seen that happen before. That's why it didn't really surprise me. I think there must be like a slight like jump in the ground somewhere there that like makes the car like bounce weirdly. But yeah, the Murcielago I think was a very cool looking car, and if you were said to me, what's the definitive Lamborghini for you? It would be the Murcielago, purely because that's the one I grew up with. I think it existed since like 2003 or something, or maybe even earlier than that potentially. But yeah, it was pretty much the Lamborghini of choice for about 12 years, something like that there. And it was just, in my opinion, that car, it was a lot more toned down than the Diablo, because the Diablo, as you can see, is just crazy looking. Look at all the vents and shit this thing has. The Murcielago, in comparison to this thing, is a lot more tame looking. However, I still think that, like, there's a certain degree of like, what's the best way to put this? There's a certain degree of appreciation I have for the simplicity of like the original Murcielago design, because it kind of reminds me of back to the days like the Countach. Because like the Countach, if you look at the original Countach and compare it to the last Countach, Jesus Christ, you can see how overboard they went with the Countach design as the car got older and older. Fucking hell, it's just like seriously, Google the comparison between the original Countach and the final Countach. Jesus Christ. Like that car they went nuts on that car, and honestly, it's why I have an appreciation for the Murcielago, because I kind of like followed that pattern. The Aventador, I don't even think it has like the simplicity of like of something like the Murcielago on its side. I just think the Aventador, I just don't think is a good looking car. I just don't have any sort of like liking to it. Meanwhile, the Murcielago, I've always loved the way that car looked. Always thought it was a really cool looking car, but the Aventador, something about the way it looks, it just doesn't look right to me. It's just, I feel like it was maybe, I think it had like too much Audi influence or something. I just don't think it looks right. It looks, to me, this is what an Audi hypercar would look like. Meanwhile, this thing here still feels Lamborghini-ish. So I hope like that actually makes sense of what I'm trying to say. But in this thing here as well, I just dislike this thing intensely. Honestly, that car to me is just ugly. It just doesn't look right to me. It looks over designed as fuck to me, if I'm honest. Like, look at all like the vents and shit they got there, and like, honestly, like I don't know what it is about the front of this thing. I just think it's disgusting looking. I've never liked the way this car looked. But then again, they could come around and change this thing later. Like the late model Gallardo, I definitely prefer to the early model Gallardo. So who knows? They could change this thing in the future, and I may wind up falling in love with it. But for now, I don't like it. And it's the same with this thing here. Like, if you look at the difference between this Murcielago and the original, yet again, it's the same story with the Countach. Night and day. Absolutely, completely different cars. It's just, you wouldn't know they're the same car unless somebody told you, pretty much. You can see some like body style like similarities, but for the most part, they pretty much look like different cars. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I really need to go over in this video. Kind of sidetracked by talking about Lamborghini, because Lamborghini's always been a car manufacturer I've just loved, because always thought Lamborghini was just awesome, because they're just insane. Kind of sad the insanity is kind of like disappeared from Lamborghini over the years, but yeah, times change. So, and also, as far as I'm aware, rest in peace, Viper. I think the Viper was killed off, which is really sad, because this was like the only competitor to the Corvette. So rest in peace, Viper. But yeah, pretty much that's everything I really have to say in this video. Let me know if there's any cars you would like to see me build. I'm probably going to do a Mustang build, because Mustang is always a car I've kind of wanted to build in this game, I just never really got around to it. So yeah, I'm going to do a Mustang build as like a showcase of what my builds are going to be like, and then after that, if you have any cars you would like to see me try and build, then leave them in the comment section pretty much. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and let me know if there's anything I could do different in regards to my commentary style and stuff like that there for this sort of video, because it's very different from doing one like World of Tanks. World of Tanks, you pretty much just talk about the game. In this here, you kind of want to talk about like other stuff like that there, because you kind of like start talking about cars, and well, cars are just something I have like an encyclopedia in my head of cars. It's just insane. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And thanks for watching. Hopefully I will see you in the next one.